Hey ReHabiters, Michael Lasky here. Welcome to another episode on ReHabit TV. This episode is quite special and unique because we're launching a brand new format. The format is called Masters of Habit. And in this type of video, we are going to be featuring a master of habit that we study and synthesize their brilliant takes on life and life changes and habit inside the ReHabit app and the ReHabit community. And so today, to help you on your journey, we're presenting Brene Brown. Now, I'm super stoked about the second habit in this list. I've been triggered and prompted to implement this intuitively in my life and haven't yet, and can't wait to get started with my wife and my family. But also habit number 3 is really profound and I think could have a huge impact on us as well. Please do let me know which habit you think is the first one that you would implement in your habit practice. Let's get to it.
The process of becoming curious about your subconscious programming and the old scripts and the armor can feel messy, and it probably will be messy, and it'll feel terrifying. But not all changes need to take 20 or 30 years. Like some changes can, in my personal experience at least, I had some terrible things happen to me as a kid. And in the last, say, 5 years, with the right tools and the right prompts and the right books and the right accountability partners, like my girlfriend, who's a very well-developed empath and a very clean fighter, which is really important. Huge. And one thing that she does really well that has been instrumental for me, she's been the clearest mirror maybe I've ever had, in the sense that I have my stuff, she has her stuff, I have my scripts and my sensitivities, many of which are out of date. And we set time to do what we call batching. So rather than having lots of interspersed criticisms or constructive pieces of feedback that may not be taken the best way by me, especially at 3 p.m. on a weekday, we'll set time aside to sit down and we will take turns. And this is a format, it may not be the best format, but it's something we came up with that works for us, where we'll tell the other person what they're doing well, like what they're really doing well, what we think we are doing well, and then we'll ask for what we would like more of. And in that format, you can start to spot patterns, right? And so if you do that once a week or every 2 weeks, certain things come up, and I'm like, oh, wow, the first time you said that, I thought it was just an exception, but now I realize that is a pattern that I have, right? When X, Y, and Z happens, I go, like, let's talk about it later. Don't want to deal with it now. And I sort of shove off certain types of topics or questions. And then you can begin to experiment with working on alternatives. And the reason I'm saying all this is just because I don't want people to feel like the curiosity, if you're willing to take that first step about your patterns, your programming, these out-of-date strategies and armor, does not necessarily lead to you trying to run an ultramarathon with a blindfold on. Like there are actually tools and resources and books and methods that can be really, really, really helpful in short order.
And you'll be surprised. I mean, it's really like, it's like putting off the mammogram or, the prostate check or whatever it is that you have to do, putting it off, all the shit you make up about it, all the scary stories, you collect as many horrible things as you can. And then you go and you're like, wow, the fear leading up to this was so much greater.
So much worse.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but I do think, the 2 hacks that we have, Steve and I have been together for 32 years, dated off and on for 7 years, and married for whatever the delta is there, 25 or whatever, we're married now. Hardest thing I've ever done. Hands down, hardest thing I've ever done. Y'all hear me out there? Hardest thing. He and I both come from our parents' marriages on both sides, divorced, remarried several times, shit shows. We had no idea what it was supposed to look like, right? We just were willing to keep showing up. And the conversations like you and your girlfriend have, We do that too. It's uncanny how similar it is. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Especially what we want more of, what's really working. I really appreciated this week. We try not to, unless it needs to be done in real time, we'll usually wait until we're in a good place to do it, and I don't know. I don't think that he saw dirty fighting, but all I saw was dirty fighting. I'm like, shame, humiliation, put downs, stuff that leaves marks, stuff that you can't, and I can default there when I'm in like a powerless corner. I can come out like mean. I know it's hard to believe, but no, it's really not. I know.
Throwing elbows and headbutts.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can come out and verbal ones that really are way more serious than a physical headbutt.
Yeah.
The other two hacks that I think have saved our marriage, besides just showing up and kind of using some of these things like what's working, what was hard, is the 80-20. So everyone says marriage should be 50-50. It's the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard. It's never 50-50.
Yeah.
Ever. And so what we do is we quantify where we are. So if Steve comes home and he'll be like, I got 20.
Just in terms of energy.
Just energy, investment, kindness, patience. I had 20. And I'll be like, I'll cover you. I got you, brother. Like I'll pull the 80. Sometimes we come home, which we have done a lot. My mom has been sick, and I'll say, I've got 10. And Steve, Steve, like 2 days ago said, I'm riding a solid 25. So we know that we have to sit down at the table anytime we have less than 100 combined and figure out a plan of kindness toward each other.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because the thing is, marriage is not something that's 50-50. A partnership works when you can carry their 20 or they can carry your 20. And that when you both just have 20, you have a plan where you don't hurt each other.
Yeah, it's you're threadbare, right?
And so what we'll say is, I'm like, I've got 10. And he'll be like, I got maybe 25. We're like, put all the groceries that are supposed to be great and healthy in the freezer. We're ordering out. Get the housekeeper here an extra day. And we're canceling anything with people that we really actually don't like.
So how can we create some buffer in the system?
No, we do that. So and then, then we'll like a day or two later, I'm like, he'll be like, I'm riding a 60. I'm like, oh my God, work is kicking my ass. I'm still at a 20. He's like, I got you, but we're a spare 20. So, let's ask Charlie if he wants to skip water polo practice today and let's all turn in at 8:00. Like huge. The other thing I would say too, that now I'm thinking about that, is we made a determination very early. There's kid-focused families, parent-focused families, and family-focused families. We're a family-focused family. So that means that if you want to do water polo, Eagle Scouts, tennis, and skeet shooting, and then that comes to the family. And the family agrees what will keep the family healthy. Like I've got a book launch, I've got this, Steve's got patients, he's taking on others, he's a pediatrician, he's doing this. So what works for our family right now is you can do 2 extracurriculars, and I'm going to have a 2-week tour, not a 4-week tour, but we put the family as the system that we serve. It's not the kids at the parents' cost or the parents at the kids' cost. It's the family. And it is remarkable.
How do you weigh, if you do at all, the voting system, so to speak, right? So if you all come to the table, does everyone have equal vote in the decision-making process with respect? No,
this is a dictatorship. I'm gonna fix my mic. Oh no, no, like we don't even bullshit around that. It's like when my kids, like if I say like, oh shit, my kids are like, ooh, you can't say that. I'm like, I can say anything I want. You can't say that. And when you're old enough, you can do whatever you want.
When you get your cursing license.
But right now I can totally do that. Watch me. But so we talk to our kids about everything. We're super open. Steve and I both have veto power, and we rarely use it. I bet I've pulled out my veto card once in the last 5 years.
Veto meaning kid says, I want to do X, and you say, can't do X. Or Steve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I have to veto that. I cannot do that. Mm-hmm. And then we really respect the veto because we don't overuse it.